Hi, this is Brett from SR Moto and wanted to do a quick project bike update video for our Honda CRF450L Supermoto conversion. And specifically in this video, I wanted to talk about a couple of the updates we've done since the last video, specifically the new Warp 9 forged tubeless wheels that we've installed. So that's going to be kind of the main focus. I'll talk about a couple of the other small changes we've made to the bike since the last video. I'm not going to talk about all of the changes or all of the parts that we've installed. I'll link you over to the previous update video where I kind of walk around the entire bike and talk about everything we've done to it. So this is just going to be kind of an update video, shorter, and just talk about a few of the changes that we've made. Real quick, just let me mention our website. Our online store is at solaracer.com. If you go there and click on the CRF450L parts section, you'll find all the parts I talk about in this video, including these new Warp 9 wheels. I will put a link in the video description down below to the online store, as well as a link to the project bike page on our website where you can see the specific bike, a couple more photos of it, all the different parts we've installed in kind of a list form so you can see what we've done to it there. So check the video description for that info. So again, main part of this video I wanted to talk about is the wheels. Now in the last video, we were running these Warp 9 spoked Supermoto wheels with tubes. These have inner tubes, obviously. We've got Dunlop Q3 Plus tires on those, and that's typical Supermoto setup. Real happy with those wheels. It's what we run on most of our Supermoto bikes. But I wanted to try something a little different and go with these forged tubeless wheels. So we got a set of these and installed them. Haven't ridden with them yet. As you can see, the tires are brand spanking new. It's unfortunately winter here now, so we're not riding right now. So you'll have to kind of stay tuned later to get my opinion on these wheels. I think I'll really like them though. They certainly look the part. So what these are Warp 9 Supermoto forged tubeless wheels. So they're a forged aluminum wheel. Obviously don't require tubes like the spoked wheels do. And we do have these on the website for order. When you go to order them, there's some different options, so I'll kind of go over those. The first option is going to be the style of wheel. There's two different styles to these wheels, the switch style and the stiletto style. And what we're running on this bike is the switch style, which is kind of this 5-spoke design. And then there's a stiletto style, which is a 7-spoke design. I kind of like the look of this switch style a little better. That's kind of why we went with it. Now you can get some different colors as well. We've done the black wheels with black hubs. And you can get the wheels themselves in a couple different colors: black, red, blue, gold. There's some different options for that, as well as you can get the hubs in different colors. I almost went with the red hubs, but we just decided to do black, but you can get the hubs in a couple different colors as well. And then you also get to choose the color for the anodized valve stem, which is a 90-degree valve stem. So I've done the red on this just as a little bit of contrast. So those are some of the options as far as colors go. Now, I will mention that the rear wheel on this type, or this particular Supermoto wheel, is a cush drive wheel. You can't get it with just a standard hub. It's going to be a cush drive hub, so keep that in mind. The rear wheel, we've done a 17-inch by 4.25-inch wheel in the rear, and then the front is a 17 by 3.5-inch. Some other options when you order these is going to be the front brake rotor. You can either choose to reuse your stock rotor if you want, which will bolt right up to these hubs, or you can go with the Warp 9 320 millimeter two-piece floating rotor, which is what we've done on this bike. And if you order that rotor, it will come with a caliper relocation bracket to relocate the caliper to accommodate that larger front rotor. And it will work with the 450L's speedometer and odometer. And in the rear, you get to choose what size rear sprocket you want. What we've done on this bike is a 46 tooth. I think when we first did Supermoto wheels on this bike, we did a 50 tooth. And I didn't really like that for the type of riding we were doing. We're doing mostly back road stuff, nothing above like 65, 70 miles an hour. And the bike kind of felt too wound out with that 50 tooth. So I much prefer this 46 tooth. The bike, you know, kind of a little bit lower RPM at those speeds, still has plenty of acceleration. I've talked to a couple customers that have done a 44 tooth on the rear, and they really like that too. So I think 44 tooth or 46 tooth is kind of the sweet spot for these bikes. But again, the gearing totally depends on the type of riding you're doing. So you do get to choose the size for that rear sprocket, and then they will also come with a rear brake rotor already mounted up and ready to go. So that is the wheels, and I'm sure we're going to get some questions on the weight of the wheels. I did weigh these and tried my best to compare the weights to the wheels we took off, which again, those are spoked, but they do have heavy duty Michelin tubes inside of them. Same tires on both wheels, Dunlop Q3 Plus front in a 120 70 by 17. And a Dunlop Q3 Plus rear and a 150 60 by 17. So with those tires, the front wheel weighed about exactly the same as the spoked wheel that we took off the bike. So it was almost identical weight. The rear was about 2 pounds heavier, and I think it was probably mostly because of that cush drive rear hub. Those wheels that we took off just had a standard rear hub on them in the rear, which I'm assuming is probably a little bit lighter. Pretty close in weight, so about 2 pounds difference. I like, you know, to me, one of the big advantages of these wheels is no tubes, so I kind of like that. So that's the wheels. I will do a video later and let you know what I think of them once I can ride the bike, but I think they're gonna work out real nicely on the bike, and they certainly do look really good. I mean, it's a really sharp looking wheel. I like the design of it. It looks really good on the bike. So that is the wheels. Talk about a few of the other changes. I don't think in our last video we had the Warp 9 sliders on the bike. So we've got the rear axle sliders that are a combination axle block with the slider built in. You can get those in red or black. We've done the red on this bike. And then you get a front one as well that goes right through the front axle. As far as plastic goes, previous update video we were running the OEM red plastic. We've changed the front fender and the rear fender on this bike. And what we've done is a Cherubies front fender from a 2017 and up CRF450R/RX fits this bike perfectly. I think it's the exact same fender. And you can get them in white, black, or red. And then in the rear, it's another Cherubies fender. This is also off a 2017 and up CRF450R/RX. Now this we did have to do some modifying to get it to fit. It's pretty much the exact same fender from the seat back, but the Cherubies fender for that CRF450R/RX extends out to about here. So we had to trim about that much plastic off of it. It was real easy to do. We just took a cutting wheel and kind of compared it to set it right next to the stock rear fender and cut it. It was real simple to trim that excess plastic off, and then it fit on the bike, you know, perfectly. We did have to Up under the seat here, there are 2 holes that we had to drill in the fender to put the 2 stock mounting bolts in for the rear part of the fender. So you do have to drill 2 holes. Now in the rear, the stock fender on the bottom of the fender has a little piece kind of sticking out that loops under the subframe. This fender's not going to have that because the motocross bikes don't have the subframe. So what we did in the rear to attach it is took a piece of Velcro, double-sided Velcro, stuck it to the top of to the underside of the fender and the top of the, I think the headlight assembly or something under there, and it's on there pretty good. I've seen a couple other guys that will put 2 holes in here and go right down through and put bolts through. So you can do a couple different things to get it to work. But visually, it's gonna, once you get it on the bike, it looks just like the stock rear fender. And you get those in white, black, or red. And then as far as graphics go, this is a Factory Effects front fender graphic, which fits the fender perfectly. And then a Factory Effects rear fender graphic, which I've cut up a little bit to fit the fender. I didn't use the entire decal. I kind of cut it up and used some of our own decals on there. And then we've got a Cherubi's lower fork protectors on the bike as well, which we've trimmed up to fit the Supermoto tires. And then those have a Factory Effects graphic on them as well. So that's the changes that we've made. I think the white looks pretty good on the bike. It's kind of a nice contrast, kind of blends in with the rear number plate. And then as far as the seat goes, on the previous version of this bike, we had a Seat Concepts comfort seat, which I really like, but we wanted to try something a little different on this bike, so we've done a Seat Concepts Comfort 2.0 seat. They also refer to this as the standard element seat. Similar to the comfort seat as far as the size of it goes, it's about 1.5 inches or so wider than the stock seat at its widest point, and it tapers up as it gets closer to the tank. So it gives you a larger surface area to sit on, which makes it a lot more comfortable than that stock seat. Now these do have a pretty grippy cover material on them, and then they've also got the traction strips as well. The seat cover on this has sealed seams to prevent water getting through. It's also got a waterproof membrane that's wrapped around the foam to kind of keep that foam from getting wet. So it's a pretty good seat for aggressive riders, I think, and it'll be a lot more comfortable than that stock seat. Standard height, so it's about the same height as the stock seat. So again, that's Seat Concepts Comfort 2.0 or Standard Element seat, they also call it. And I think that is about it for the updates we did to this bike. Again, check the video description down below, and I'll link you over to the online store as well as the link to the project bike page so you can get all the details on this particular bike. And then if you check out our project bike section on the website, you'll see the dual sport CRF450L project bike that we have, as well as we've got 1 or 2 other Supermoto conversions that we've done with kind of the more traditional spoked wheels. Our email address is also on the website. If you have any questions for us, shoot us an email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. But that's about it for now. Again, it's Brett from SR Moto and our CRF450L Supermoto conversion. Thanks for watching.